Inwagata no Sahai is still my name, and I feel so happy to come your way this morning and add value to your day, in the area of you as parents, you as guardians, helping your children to build healthy self-esteem. If as a child, or if as at the level of childhood, a person is not able to develop healthy self-esteem, it's going to affect them as in adult stage. This is so important, helping your children to develop healthy self-esteem, nurturing them with healthy self-esteem. Now, a child is a product of his nature and his nurture. Now, the nature there talks about his natural endowments, while his nurture is about the influence that he receives from his environment, starting from his parents, his elder siblings, and the teachers and other people around him. And so as parents, you must be poised to see that you nurture your children with healthy self-esteem, in order for you to be able to position them to properly fulfill their destiny. A child is a product of his nature, his natural endowment, and a function, and also a product of his nurture, the influence he gets from his environment. Now, if the nurturing is not properly done, then the nature, the natural endowment will not be properly dispensed. This is so important. If the nurturing is not properly done, the nature, the giftings, the natural endowment will not be properly done. So it's so important that as parents, you are poised to see that you nurture your children with healthy self-esteem. This is just so critical. Now, the journey of nurturing your children with healthy self-esteem as parents begins with you modeling a positive view of yourself. This is so important. Model a positive view of yourself. Don't be the kind of parents that, talk yourself down in the presence of your children. Don't be the kind of parents that, that doesn't speak well of yourself in the presence of your children. You see a situation whereby, as a mother, for example, you just made a new dress, and then your younger sister or a female friend of yours saw the dress on you, and the person decided to compliment you, saying, "Wow, what an amazing dress. This is a beautiful dress." And then your response is, "It's just Ankara. Oh. I bought it from the nearby market. It's just one, it's just Ankara." See, that's negative self-talk, and your children are listening. Now, what is going to happen on the long run if you continue in this pattern is that your children are going to copy this kind of negative self-talk. They are going to absorb it, and then they will mirror it back to you. So for you, the journey to building healthy self-esteem, positive self-esteem in your children begins with you modeling a positive view of yourself. Speak confidently. This is just so important. You need to model a positive view of yourself. If, for example, you are facing challenge, you are facing any problem, the way you respond to that problem, your children are watching it. And this is going to model to them how they will also respond to problems or challenges they will face as they grow up. Your children see you as their hero. They see you as the most important person in their life. And what you are modeling before them is also what they are going to mirror back to you, as they move on in life. Another way you can also build healthy self-esteem in your children is for you to avoid destructive criticisms. Destructive criticism. For example, let's assume that your child bring home his or her score test, result, the test result, and then the child got 64%, and you react in a way that will make the next, test result to be 42%. You mean I just work myself off, I slave myself off, go to work day and night to pay your school fees, and at the end of the day, you are coming with 64%. The people that got 95 or 100%, do they have two heads? You react in such a way that the child, is pushed into negative self-esteem, and your reaction is not bringing out the best in the child. The child loses his or her self-confidence, and on the long run, the child comes back with the result next time, and instead of improving, the whole thing is just getting worse. So one way you help your children to build healthy self-esteem is for you to avoid destructive criticism. the child comes home with the test results, and then you are seeing 64%. Ah, Johnson, what happened? 64%? Are you having problem with, with understanding this subject? Are you not asking questions in class in the areas you don't understand? What is going on? You sit the child down and you talk the child into success. You talk the child into healthy self-esteem. Your response, your reaction matters a lot when it comes to the issue of, building healthy self-esteem. One of my mentors, Brian Tracy, said, the way you talk to your children is the single greatest factor that shapes their self-confidence and self-esteem. I will repeat that again. Maybe you may want to document it. Brian Tracy said, the way you talk to your children is the single greatest factor that shapes their confidence and self-esteem. This is so important. Now, another way you can help your child to build healthy self-esteem is for you to celebrate the child's uniqueness. This is so important. Learn to celebrate the child's uniqueness. Now, this is not you, making the child to feel more special than every other child out there. No. This is you pointing the child to his or her unique giftings that God has empowered him or her with to make him or her fulfill a special role on earth, to fulfill a special purpose on earth. This is so important. Focus on the child's strength, the child's uniqueness, the child's giftings, and that will go a long way for the child to see, the diamond in himself, the gold in herself, and then the child will live with healthy self-esteem. Another approach that you can equally engage to help your child to build healthy self-esteem is for you to learn to interrupt and silence any negative self-talk from the child. I've seen videos of children, having conversation with their parents, and the child will say, Mommy, I'm ugly. Mommy, I'm not fine. And then you also hear statements like, I'm not good with mathematics, or I don't know mathematics. Now, that mentality of I am ugly, I am not fine, I don't know mathematics should be silenced immediately with a very positive approach. This is so important, because if that is not silenced, you will end up having an adult in the future, just like we see some of them around, who will end up telling you, I don't know how to do business. That is negative self-talk. Who knows how to do business? Nobody brought how to do business from birth. We learned it here. And the child can also learn mathematics. The child should know that he or she is fine, she is beautiful, he is handsome. Those negative self-talk should be silenced immediately. It should be silenced. Any negative self-talk from your child, from your daughter, in kindergarten, in primary school, in secondary school, as teenagers, those negative talk, those self-defeating talks, those self-defeating phrases should be silenced. Make sure you silence those negative self-talk. There another way to help your child to build healthy self-esteem is for you to appreciate and acknowledge the child's small effort and success. I remember when we were especially in secondary school, when you do algebra in mathematics, you do, quadratic equations and all that. When your class teacher gives you a classwork or an homework or any homework, now the class teacher is not just interested in the final answer. The teacher, the mathematics teacher, wants to see the stages and the processes you followed to get to that final answer. And the interesting thing is that there are marks for those stages, those processes you followed. So that already paints a picture in our mind that life is not all about the final outcome. It's all about the level of engagement you had with the stages and the processes that resulted to the final outcome. This is one thing you need to imbibe as parents, that when you are interacting, interfacing with your children, it is not just all about the result, but you should be able to acknowledge the stages, the processes the child engaged in getting to the result. Even if the final result is not what you anticipated or expected, you should acknowledge the effort the child puts in every stage to even get the result that is presently on ground. This is so important in helping the child build healthy self-esteem. Acknowledge every effort, acknowledge every stage of success, every small progress the child is making, and this will go a long way to help the child have self-confidence and build healthy self-esteem. Then, it is also important to help your child build healthy self-esteem. It is also important for you to give the child a reasonable sense of autonomy. What I mean is that let the child have the opportunity to make some decision on his or her own. Now, this is so important. This will help to this will build this sense of I am capable in the child. It will build this sense of I can do it in the child. Give the child some latitude to make some decisions. And then in the whole conversation or in the whole narrative, ensure that you are also working there as a referee or a supervisor, so that the child will not get to a level of making decisions, that will that will make the child to fall into, dangers and all the rest. Ensure that while you are giving the child that latitude of space to make decisions, you are also making the child understand the consequences of making bad decisions. This is so important. So giving that child some level of autonomy to be able to make some decision on his or her own will help the child to build that self-confidence, that self-esteem of I am capable, I am able. This is so important. And in this regard of giving the child some level of some sense of autonomy, understand that age, the issue of age, come into the equation. There's a level of autonomy you will give to a 10-year-old that you will also give to a 15-year-old. The one you may give to a 15 or 16-year-old, you will not give it to an 8-year-old. This is so important. Give the child a reasonable sense of autonomy. And this is just so important for you to do that. So I strongly believe that profound value have been added to you today, and it is so important that you reach out to me so that we can see how we can take this conversation to another level. And that is why my phone numbers have been on the screen. The MTN is 080-6686-5060. I take it one more time, 080-6686-5060. The glow line is equally there. It's 080-529-29120. Take it just one more time, 080-529-29120. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday. And when I return, I will still be the amiable Inuagata no Sahai. God bless you.